Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our very first Introduction to Tai Chi and Qigong program. My name is Rhonda Ma. I'm a reference librarian here at the Coolidge Corner Library. We're so glad you could join us for this program today. Our program is generously sponsored by the library trustees. Before we begin, a bit of housekeeping. This program is held over Zoom webinar, which means that presenters will have video and mics, and everyone in the audience is welcome to interact using the chat. There will be time to answer questions during the last 10 minutes of our class, and we invite you to type in your questions in the Q&A, which can be found at the bottom of your screen. If you'd like to keep up to date with our library news, programs, and services, I invite you to sign up for our weekly newsletter at brklib.com/newsletter. And now, let me introduce our instructor, Anson Rathbone. Anson Rathbone came to be an acupuncturist after pursuing an interest in various Chinese therapeutic exercises that he learned from a number of teachers. He has long held to the ideal of putting effective traditional methods for health restoration and maintenance into people's hands that they may use them to sustain their well-being. Before we start our program, I would like to read a brief disclaimer. Participation in this online Tai Chi and Qigong program, while generally considered safe, could result in injury. Not all the material presented here are suitable for everyone. These exercises are not intended to substitute for appropriate medical care or advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Program creators, teachers, producers, and hosts assume no responsibility for injuries resulting from the use of this material. Without further delay, please join me in welcoming our instructor, Anson. Hi, Anson.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad that you could all make it to be here with us. In these two classes, we're starting with a two-class series, and if there's enough interest, we'll continue with this as a regular program, perhaps. But in these two classes, what I'd like to do is introduce a set called the Tai Chi Qigong 18 forms. So this set is a combination of Tai Chi and Qigong movements, and it's really a very wonderful health maintenance series. It helps to build a sense of energy in the body. It helps us to create to kind of integrate the body and the mind together, which is something that most of us have come to miss really in our modern life. There's not a lot in our modern lives that helps to reinforce this connection, which was our birthright to have this. This set will deepen the breath. It will calm and clear the mind, balance the emotions, improve sleep, and gently strengthen, energize, and liver the spine, joints, and limbs. It opens and improves the circulation, blood circulation, nerve circulation, improves balance, posture, and coordination. It's a joy to do. Doing this, I think for a short time doing it regularly, I think most people will notice some benefits from this. So I guess I'd like to start with some general guidelines. So most of the postures are going to be done standing in place. So the feet will be about shoulder width apart, and to keep the feet parallel. So the feet generally aren't splayed out or turned in. Feet are parallel, knees are gently relaxed and bent. There's a gentle lift from the top of the head, and the chin tucks slightly to allow the top of the head to go up. The whole body, to the best of your ability, want it to be relaxed and loose. There's breathing that we will coordinate with the movements, but don't worry too much about that at this point. You'll find that the movements actually will kind of inspire the breathing once you settle into the movements and get used to them. But generally, when you're moving up, you'd be inhaling, and when you're moving down, you'd be exhaling. Or when you're moving out and away from where you're standing, you're moving out, you'd be inhaling, and then when you come back, you'd be exhaling. So those are some simple guidelines. So lift from the top of the head, gentle bend at the knees, feet are parallel. Okay. So the first movement, the commencing movement. So basically what I'm hoping to do is to go through the first 9 movements of this 18 movement set. And next week we would go through the second 9 movements. So the first movement. So inhaling, the hands come up, and exhale, the hands come down. So I'll turn to the side so you can see that. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. So when breathing, be careful not to over-breathe. Don't try to force the breath in any way. Keep the breath very gentle, relaxed. So notice that as my hands are coming up, I'm straightening my knees just a little bit. And exhale, the hands go back down. Inhale and exhale. So it's like a bubble is pushing your hands up. Your arms are draped on top of the bubble. At some point, the bubble starts to slide away. So the elbows drop down and then the fingers follow. So normally in the set, we would do this movement 6 times. So the second movement is called broadening the chest. So we start out like we did with the first movement, hands coming up. And then when we get to about shoulder height, the hands move apart and then come together and down. You want to have the whole body relaxed. Feel as though you're dropping your weight and everything into the ground as you do the movements. And notice, pay attention to what's happening inside your body. Notice where you feel some tension, or maybe if you have an injury, you might notice that some of the movements might go into the territory where where the pain of that injury exists. Don't go too far into that, okay? So, notice where that is, and if I notice that if I bring my arm out here, I start to feel painful, don't go that far, so you can make the movement a little smaller. And if we put breathing with this, inhaling as the hands come up, inhale a little more without forcing, and exhale and down. Inhale, hands coming up, inhale a little more, and exhale down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So the third movement, playing with rainbows. Inhale, the hands come all the way up over the head. One hand stays kind of over the top of the head. The other hand kind of opens to about shoulder height, and you arch to the side. So in this case, we would inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Inhale and exhale. So this one gives you a nice stretch along the side of the body from the foot right up to the wrist and the hand. So the next movement is circling the hands. So we sort of sink down, bring the hands up, and then out to the side. So you're making a circle with each hand. One hand circling this way, the other hand circling this way. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. So I'm bending a little bit at the hips and a little maybe at the knees. If for any reason that's uncomfortable, you don't need to do that. You can stand up straight and do it. Inhale and exhale. So the point of this class is to just let you look at this, try some of these movements out. You shouldn't worry about trying to remember the whole set at this point. You're just kind of, it's sort of a sampler platter. So we have the different flavors of the movements of this set that you can try out and see how they feel. So the next movement is called repulse monkey. The hands come up. One hand drops down. So from the side, that would look like, so the hands come up. One hand drops down, it circles down, comes up over the shoulder. Notice how the arm, I bend my elbow. So the hand is here beside my ear. And then it extends out as I draw the other hand in and down. So it's called repulse monkey. So the monkey offers you some fruit, and then you go to take some of the fruit, and then he pushes you away. So some of these movements are from Tai Chi, and some are more purely Qigong. At the end of the class, maybe I'll spend a little time and we'll talk about the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong. So this is one of the movements that's taken from the Yang family Tai Chi. So inhale as the hand comes back, exhale as it goes forward. Inhale as the hand comes back, and exhale forward. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So the next movement is called rowing the boat. So the hands kind of circle back a little bit, up and down. So inhaling and exhale. Inhale. So you can imagine you're in a boat and you're kind of paddling with the oars. The next one is called lift a ball. So for this one, we're turning slightly to the side. And as we inhale, we go up on our toes, up on the balls of our feet, I mean. So inhale. So one hand comes up, inhale, we're lifting a ball. We drop the ball. We get the ball bounces, we pick it up with the other hand, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If it's uncomfortable or you feel unsteady going up on the balls of your feet, just very lightly have the idea that you're lifting your heels when you do this. So the next one is called carry the moon. So again, I'm turning slightly to the side and I'm reaching up with my hands taking hold of the moon, bring the moon down past my thighs and up on the other side. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So I'm bending at the hips, and I'm also slightly bending the knees as I go down. But as I said before, if that's uncomfortable for some reason, then you can do this just standing. So there's a slight twist in the spine. Don't overdo that. It's all very gentle. We're not trying to force change here at all. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So the next movement is called twist and push. So this hand, my right hand on your left side if you're mirroring me. So this hand would come down. The other hand comes palm up at the waist. So this hand comes down and pushes out. So inhales, the hands come back, exhales, they go out. So we're just twisting a little bit, maybe 10, 15 degrees, something like that. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So I'm going to talk for a minute. We can take a little rest. So there's something that we call the 70% rule. And for any movement that we're doing, for the length of time that we're practicing, for the depth of the breathing that we're doing, to the extent that we're doing any particular movement, we're really only working to 70% of what our total capacity would be. So if we're talking about a situation where with some movement there might be pain, so if in doing here, this is another movement from another exercise. So if I'm doing this movement and I bring my arm up, I start to feel some tightness or pain in one shoulder, then I should only go 70% of how high that arm would go. We're not trying to force to 100%. The problem is that if we always are working to 100% of our capability, it sort of starts to stir up tension. If the body feels like it's in danger of becoming injured, it will resist. So that resistance kind of packs in some tension into the body. We're trying to release tension with this exercise so that energy, blood, fluids can circulate more freely. So it's very important not to force any of the movements. With the twist and push, there may be some tendency to really turn and really feel that stretch. But that when you're feeling stretch and pulling like that, the body is resisting, is already starting to resist. And if you always exercise in that way, you'll start to ingrain tension. So that's what we do with the 70% rule. So with breathing, so I'm inhaling, but I don't want to inhale and pack my lungs full of air. I want to go to the 70% mark. I could go more, but I don't. And then exhale and relax. And that way, the body can sort of gently grow and move. And that's often how the body does like to grow and develop. So those were the 9 movements that I wanted to go over. What I'd like to do now is to go through them again. So Something else I should say is that at some point during the week, early or middle next week, this video will be uploaded to the library's YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and you search for Brookline Public Library, you'll find their YouTube channel. So this video will be uploaded there. So you're welcome to view this again and to work with it. You can practice from it, so that if there's things that I've said today that you wanted to remember, you could review it during the week. So before we start, we'll spend a moment just standing. So again, lifting from the top of the head, the chin tucks back, the neck gently straightens, and you're lifting towards the top of the head. Shoulders sink down, arms just hanging by the sides. You can have your middle finger along the side of the sides of your leg. The knees are slightly bent. There's almost a sense that you're about to sit on the edge of a chair. So there's a little bit of this crease here, the inguinal crease folds a little bit, just a little bit. The weight is evenly spaced on the feet. So you can rock back and forth a little bit, rock to the back, feel the heels, feel a little more weight in the back, you feel the pressure on the heels. If you rock to the front, the ball of the foot feels a little more pressure. So you want to be sort of in the middle. So again, side to side, you also want to feel as though the weight is down through the middle of the foot. Okay, so starting the first movement. So inhale, hands come up. And exhale, hands go down. And inhale, coming up. And exhale, hands go down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. So that's commencing form. Second movement, broaden the chest, hands come up to shoulder height and move apart. And back together and down. And inhale. And exhale. So be sure to use your 70% rule here. Time your breathing so that you're not completely 100% full of air when the hands are all the way apart. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Playing with rainbows. Hands come up. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Next movement, circling hands. Hands come down, cross, come up the middle. Inhaling and exhale down the sides. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Repulse monkey. Inhale and exhale. 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 Row the boat. Inhale and exhale. 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 Lift the ball up on the balls of the feet, inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Carry the moon. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Reach up, take hold of the moon, bring it down past the knees. Reach up, take hold of the moon, past the knees. Inhale as you go up, and exhale down. Inhale and exhale. 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 So now we'll go right into twist and push. Twist and press the palm out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And inhale, exhale. And inhale, exhale. So often, if you're practicing part of the set, it's a good idea to do the last posture, which we haven't talked about yet. So that's inhaling, bringing the hands up, lifting the hands and pressing the hands down. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. So a word or two about the quality of the movement. So it's almost as though you're immersed in a fluid and you're moving through that fluid a little bit. The movements are also a little bit like you're moving in slow motion. And what that does is it really helps you to be able to focus inside the body and to feel the effect of the movement inside your body. So one of the benefits of these kinds of exercises is it helps to bring you back into yourself, which is another thing that we often lose in our modern life. You know, we're very active with various things. Excuse me. Very active with various things, and it tends to take us out. We're always working outside of ourselves. So these kinds of exercises give us a chance to kind of restore, come back inside and feel what's happening inside, what's happening with our body, and paying attention, using your mind to guide through the different movements so that you can really explore them and be as relaxed as you can with them. To scan through your body and look for places of tension, and then over time, using the movement, using the breathing, using a tendency to continually relax down. You can dissolve, you can often dissolve these areas of tension. These areas of tension, which if they are really embedded in the system and over years and years, they will begin to affect the function of the body over time. And they may, from a Chinese medicine standpoint, they may actually begin to develop into organic types of illnesses. So it's good to keep the body limber and keep it moving, particularly as we're aging. It's always a good time to start doing that. Even an activity as simple as walking, and our bodies arguably were designed to walk. We were designed to walk an awful lot more than most of us do. The walking helps to stir the circulation in the body. It helps to circulate the lymph, which the blood is moved by the heart and motions in the blood vessels. But the lymph really depends upon movement to be able to move. So when we're sedentary, we tend to stagnate. And so movement helps us to relieve that stagnation. And through that relief, we can become more alive. Okay. So let's take another look at the set, go through this first half of the set again. If at any point you feel tired and you need to take a rest, by all means do so. You can sit and watch. Sorry, I'm getting a little tickle. I think I have a little dryness here in the house. So for this time when we go through, try to feel as though that when you're inhaling into a movement, that you're also kind of standing up a little bit out of the ground. And then when you exhale, you can feel yourself sink back down into the ground a little bit. It doesn't mean you need to make a big, huge movement, but you can make a little bit of a movement, and then with your mind, you can kind of feel yourself going down in your body and coming up out of your body. Okay. Commencing, inhale and exhale. And inhale, hands come up, elbows down, wrists down, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, standing up out of the ground. Exhale, sinking back down into the ground. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Second movement, broadening the chest. Inhale Stand up out of the ground. Exhale. Sink back into the ground. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Playing with rainbows. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Circling hands. Inhale. Inhale. And exhale. So here, sinking down into the ground. Inhale, coming up out of the ground. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Repulse monkey, hands come up. One hand circles back and down, comes up over the shoulder and out. The other hand circles down, up over the shoulder. I'll turn to the side. Inhale and exhale. 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 Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. So rowing the boat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So sinking down into the ground. Inhale, coming up, standing up out of the ground. Exhale. Inhale and 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 exhale. Lift the ball, turn slightly to the side. Go over the balls of the feet. Exhale, head comes down. Inhale, lift the ball. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Stand up out of the ground, sink back down into the ground. Inhale and exhale. 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 Twist and push. So we turn slightly to the side, push out with the palm. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. I'm sorry, so inhale, hands come back, exhale, go out. Inhale and exhale. So inhale and exhale. So with this movement too, you can have a little bit of, when you bring in the hands back, you can, in this case, it could be reverse. So you could inhale, sink down a little bit, and exhale, stand up slightly. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And exhale. So we'll do the last posture. Lift the hands up and press the hands down. So inhale, stand up out of the ground, and exhale, sink. So inhale coming up, exhale going down. Inhale going up, and exhale going down. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. So when we finish the set, we can do like we did in the beginning. We can have the feet parallel, check your feet, and just settle down. Little bend in the knees, lift from the top of the head, tuck the chin, hands down, shoulders sink. Just relax like this for a little bit. Let the energy settle. Let the activity that we've been doing settle. Just notice the breathing coming in and going out. Okay. If you do meditation, this is a wonderful set to do before meditation. Allowing the body to change the breath, to move the blood, kind of can create a nice state for relaxation. You can do this set in different ways. You can do it a little quicker, a little bit more aerobically if you want, without forcing. Or you can do it slower, more relaxed, depending upon what you want to do. If you need to calm down a little bit, you can do it slower, more relaxed. If you need to energize a little bit, you can do it a little faster and with a little bit deeper breathing. So yeah, this would be a nice set to do before meditation. And in a way, you can think of Qigong. Qigong is a little bit like exercise and meditation combined. So usually the exercise is not so vigorous that it's going to take you out of your meditative state. and for some people, it's hard for them to just sit still, maybe, and just focus on breathing or think no thoughts or something like that. So movement exercises like Tai Chi, like Qigong, can be a very good type of meditation, really, for people, because it gives you something to focus on. Whereas if you have nothing to focus on, some people that's very difficult, and they'll drift, and the mind will become very active, and other people are able to kind of go into that state. I did want to say a little bit about the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong. Generally, Qigong is the larger category of which Tai Chi is a part. Tai Chi is a martial art, was originally a martial art based on Qigong principles. So some of the movements we did in the form were right out of the Yang family form. The first movement is the same as the opening for the Tai Chi form, for the Yang family Tai Chi form. The repulse monkey move is another one that's right out of that set. And there's maybe one or two others. Obviously with Tai Chi, if it's done in such a relaxed, slow, calm way, it's not probably going to be that useful as a martial art. So you have to understand that for Tai Chi, that's only part of the training, is the slow form. So, you may have different kinds of movements like this. With Qigong is a really vast area. There's a lot of different kinds of Qigong. I think I've heard figures like there's probably 3,500 or something like that, different styles of Qigong. Some are modeled on the movements of animals. Some are based on 5-element theory. Some of them are very yoga-like. Some of them are very quiet and meditative. Others are somewhat active. So it's a really vast area. Tai Chi, there's a handful of different styles, and they usually have certain movements that are done. They may look different in the different styles, but it's basically the same movement. And they're organized around, the different styles of Tai Chi are organized around the same set of principles. I had gotten interested in these exercises many, many years ago. And it was actually the reason that I got involved with acupuncture. I came to kind of the end of other things that I was working on and wanted to find something more in line with my own personal interests and a way that I could help people. So acupuncture seemed like a good fit. And acupuncture and Qigong are based on the same principles. They both conceive of channels in the body through which like a vital energy flows. And they both can be used for healing, obviously. So that's what brought me to acupuncture, which had been my career for the past 15 years. Okay, I think we could probably open this up to any questions that people have.
Thank you so much, Anson. I myself, I have to admit, I know nothing about Tai Chi or Qigong, but this is a really good introduction. I have learned a lot from it, but there are some questions that maybe you can help us answer.
Sure.
Okay, so there are so many different movements. I know you introduced like 9 today. How will I ever learn them all?
Well, if in this introduction class, if there's enough interest, we would go through these in more depth a little bit at a time. So usually with this set, people will learn like 3 movements and practice those for a few days, and then learn another 3 movements. And for as long as you want. You could actually, someone could actually do part of the set and still get a lot of benefit from it. Obviously, working in a regular class, you're not burdened with trying to remember the form so much, and you can watch the rest of the class or the teacher perform that, and they can follow along. And eventually, people will learn it. Something I've noticed over the years of working with forms, there's Tai Chi forms that have 108 postures or 85 postures. There's Qigong sets that have hundreds of postures, and there's others that just have, 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 or something like that. So I would just try to be open-minded about it and not worry about that. That's kind of the teacher's responsibility, not something you need to worry about. You just need to show up for class, and you'll be brought to that. There are some people that have a difficulty learning forms, and others seem to pick it up rather naturally. I mean, like anything in life, there are aptitudes. If someone does have difficulty learning a form, and it might seem like 18 is a big number, but it actually, once you learn them, you realize, oh, that wasn't so bad. But for someone who does have difficulty learning the forms, oftentimes just doing 1 or 2 of these movements is already enough. If you spend some time with one movement, this first movement is really a wonderful thing once you understand what's happening and you're able to kind of to connect with that. That alone can be already a lot.
Great, that's really good to know. Thank you very much. So how often should I do this set? Like,
well, ideally, and this varies. It should be done regularly. Is best. Daily, regularly might mean daily for some people. It might mean every couple of days. I knew someone years ago who she didn't have time to practice forms every day. She was a housewife. She was a mother. She had a job. So she didn't always have time to practice, but she practiced every weekend, and she was able to get benefit and keep benefits going. Just doing once a week. I would say probably most people would be good if they could do more often than that. But it could mean just 15 minutes here and there,
Yeah, that's my next question. Like, how long should each session be?
Right, that varies. And again, we'd have to remember the 70% rule. If you're feeling strain, after 10 minutes, then 10 minutes is too long. So you would very gradually build up your capacity. But yeah, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes is a good amount of time for practice. 10 minutes if that's your limit.
I see. And you would think, do you also feel that we should start building from the first movement? Or you can pick whatever movement you like to do?
Well, normally you would start at the beginning of this particular set and work your way through. In some sets, and in some systems, the movements will build on each other. And to some extent, there's a little bit of that in this form. But again, if there was one particular movement that you really liked, you might spend more time with that, but then try to do the rest of the set after that. And there are some movements that would be fine to break out. Actually, any of them, I think, would be fine to break out if that's your practice. And your practice will change over time. You should allow for that. But even if you just get one movement out of this, it's almost more. The form is really kind of a container. it depends what you put into it. And by that, I mean how you're using your attention, how you're relaxing into the movements. That's almost more important than the form itself. So, working with a form like this, you can learn those skills and then you can use them in your life. You could be waiting online at the bank and you can relax yourself down. And you could be waiting for a job interview or a discussion with a difficult colleague or something like that. You could be using some of the breathing to help yourself become stable and relaxed and ready for the next thing. Driving in traffic, everyone gets stressed with that probably. You can use some of these techniques while you're driving. So any moment really, once you are able to extract, once you're able to discover the content that you can put inside these forms, you can put that into any activity, if that makes sense.
Great, thank you very much. I have one last question here. It's about breathing. I noticed that when you are in your still form, when you're breathing, you don't raise your shoulder at all. Because when we take deep breaths, we tend to raise our shoulder. Is that incorrect?
Well, not really, but if you do some work and learn to relax the diaphragm, you can kind of breathe down into the belly more. The sense is more the belly. The belly will expand more. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with my hands. What's happening to my hands as I open and close my belly.
Right, I can see that now, but I think that's not the usual way we breathe.
Right, because most people are a little tight in the diaphragm.
Right.
There's benefits to breathing low like that. It massages the internal organs and helps them to change over the blood and other fluids. So it helps them to do their job better. So that has some value. A lot of times people, when they're stressed, will their energy will kind of float up in their body and they'll be breathing more at the top of their chest. It's thought in this work to be able to learn to sink your energy down in your body. Most of us have no trouble bringing it up. It's bringing it down that we have some issues with. So for a lot of people, the beginning work is learning how to calm down and to relax down. Once you have that downward current well established, then you can work with the upward current. But it's, oftentimes we're on the computer all day, we're reading, we're getting the stimulation from the screen, we're thinking, we're talking to people, we're all up here in our head and we're not really in our body. So learning how to empty the head and fill our bodies is a valuable thing for people to learn in this time. So these kinds of practices are very helpful for that.
Great, thank you very much. So again, for our next session, are you going to have a review of these forms that you have covered today?
I think we'll have time for that. Yeah, I think I'll introduce the next 9 postures and then we'll do some review combining both, I think, by the end of the class.
That's wonderful to know,
Yeah.
because I might have forgotten a lot of the forms.
Yeah, I don't try to remember now. Once the video is up online, people will have something they can refer to. So it's really more what I'm hoping, and it's hard to know, to some extent you need the postures in the beginning to get you the experiences. But once you have the experiences and you're grounded in those experiences, at some point, and this may be years down the road, then you may not really need the posture so much. But in the beginning, they're helpful because they give you something to anchor onto. And then once you learn how to begin to fill the container that the posture is, then you begin to have something.
Great. Thank you very much, Anson. Really appreciate your time and your very comprehensive coverage of Tai Chi and Qigong. And thank you for all the participants. We assure you that the recording will be up on our YouTube channel. I will hope to see everyone back next Saturday, same time, and invite your friends, because even though if they missed a session today, they can always start joining next week, right, Anson?
That's right. And once the video is up, they can look at that ahead of the class. It's not urgent that they do that. Again, we're not concentrating on learning the form so much now. We're just trying to get an experience of it, a flavor of it,
Right.
a little sampling. Try this, try that, see what it's like. But yeah, if you are interested, I hope we can make a regular class of this. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming, and I hope that you got something out of this. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.